Hi there and welcome to Center Stage. I'm Steve Summers. The National Association of Activity Professionals is the only national organization that exclusively represents activity professionals working in senior living communities. Now, this association provides and gives opportunities for professional development and personal growth. And as many know, those who work in the industry must have the best tools necessary to serve our most vulnerable as they age. And whether maybe it's getting the current regulatory and government information on issues, e-learning, educational videos, articles, trends, and even sharing sources, NAP is the only place where you'll find all of the tools necessary for active activity professionals to really go be their best. And to join me to talk more about NAP is Association Director Alisa Tagg. Alisa from Las Vegas, Nevada, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Oh, thank you, Steve, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. We're very excited to share with what we can.
You guys cover it top to bottom. As someone who actually entertains a lot of these places, when I visit so many of them, I'm just amazed by not only the compassion they serve, but the knowledge necessary to kind of keep things going, knowing how to handle varying degrees and stages of life, while at the same time staying within the framework of the regulatory procedures necessary for the health and safety of the residents. And this is where you guys come in with a full package to back up what is vitally necessary in this part of the industry, right?
Yes, absolutely. We were founded in 1981 by Marilyn Lampkin Jagger out of Northern Illinois. And so what really happened there was it was a calling to come together, because in the 70s is when Congress really started to increase the need for activities, to be in skilled nursing facilities, which were at that time called convalescent homes. And so they were able to do that. And it was a very big frustration that she had because there were no standards. There was nothing happening, and so anybody and everybody could really be working in that position. And so she wanted to make that change. So in 1981 and 82, they were able to have some steering committee meetings, so to speak. And that's when the organization was founded and when they began to elect officers, for membership and working on all of that. And then we held our first annual conference in the spring of 1983. And so I thought that was really cool to think about, because we're coming up, on a 40-year history almost. Now everything has worked together, and we've had the ability to establish standards and code of ethics, and those have been updated regularly to meet the current regulations and the standards that our government sets forth for these communities. So it's a really great organization that activity professionals can belong to.
And a lot of people don't know you've been around since 1981. There wasn't any organization out there before NAP at all, right?
No. And we are still the only organization around now that covers the needs for activity professionals on a national level. Plus, we also have an international relations director on our board of directors, and she works with the international organizations, like with New Zealand and their Activity Professional Association there, and in the UK with their Activity Professional Association, and Australia and Canada, of course, and other states that are coming. We just recently started working with France. So it's very exciting how it's changing, and how we're trying to work together on an international level too, to ensure that the activity professionals are having their needs met in regards to what they need to know to deliver the care that they need to deliver.
When I first went to your website, I noticed all the many resources that NAP has, your e-learning courses, your webinars. Your library is a great place to start for anyone either already in the industry or new people, or maybe are entering into the industry for the very first time, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about our organization and everything that we do have to offer. The e-learning courses right now, of course, during COVID-19, we have increased those to 2 to almost 3 sometimes a week. And these are free educational opportunities right now for any professional. They don't have to be a member of our organization to partake of these educational opportunities. And so a lot of them have been focusing on, COVID specific programming, but then other ones, like we just had one this morning that was superb, and it was all about how to work with dysfunctional teams. Wow. And as we get into the managerial portion of our role as an activity professional, it is vitally important that we have the ability to understand how to work with others, because we are, not going to be alone all the time, and we don't work on an island, we work with a team. And so it's really important that the activity professionals can gain that knowledge and expertise and the skills that they need to be able to do that. So not only do we have this amazing e-learning library, and so every webinar that we offer is recorded and available on demand. And so the on-demand webinars become available then to the members that maybe they weren't able to participate when it was live. We also have an amazing toolbox that's filled with amazingly wonderful resources for activity professionals to utilize, including we have partnered with so many other organizations, Senior Entertainment Network as well, and working on everything that we do with that. But we also offer in-service suggestions, and they have the actual PowerPoints that the activity professional can take and do in-services in their community. There's articles of interest, volunteer information packets, dementia training information, and every gamut you could say that the activity professionals in charge of, we have a resource that's available for them, along with programming ideas. We have a great gal out of New Jersey, Krista Fisher, that writes all these great programming suggestions and ideas for us. And we have a lot of guest blogs and different individuals that do contribute to the toolbox to make sure that the activity professionals are getting the most resources available. It's a great resource. Definitely.
You have a vast array of resources there from top to bottom. Like I said, it's just truly amazing. I would imagine when COVID-19 hit, that kind of threw out some of the rule book in terms of what you regularly expect as an activity director. I know every activity director throughout the entire United States has had to embrace new regulations and new rules, CDC and everything else. You guys have also had to take a big role in that too as well in educating.
Yes, and that was really challenging because we were in the midst of figuring out, when this happened in March, we had an annual conference planned in April. And so we were working with the hotel at the time, trying to get that canceled and, figuring out what was going to be the best course of action for us to do as a national organization. And then we went on to create a COVID-19 resource section on our website that is open and free to everybody. And so what is included in there are programming ideas, because what happened when the shutdown occurred, the nursing homes and assisted living facilities all shut down themselves, and their doors were closed, and no more group activities, no communal dining, nothing that could be done. And usually the activity professional's role is really focusing on that group programming, having the entertainers come in, having special guests, church groups, things like that were no longer allowed to happen. And so we had to really get creative and dig even deeper into the toolbox, as you wish to say, that will help the individual as the professional to make sure that they are, finding resources that are going to help them to do the programming that their community would allow. So one-to-one programs became more important. And then we also had a lot of hallway activity suggestions and things like that, where the resident could sit in their doorway and still participate in something, with the proper social distancing. And so that is still going on for nursing and assisted living facilities right now. The other thing that happened too was our adult day healthcare centers all closed. So the activity professionals that were working in those types of settings didn't have a job. They were furloughed or laid off. And so working with them too, that they could continue to get their education that they needed in order to move forward and still be ready for when that would happen. And I have heard, that some communities, adult day communities, are now reopening slowly. But the thing is even though states are reopening and various states are in different phases, our nursing homes have not reopened, and neither have our assisted living facilities. And so they're kind of behind. They're supposed to be 2 to 4 weeks behind a state's opening. So if your state's in phase 1 right now, the nursing home can't go into phase 1 of their reopening plan until states are in phase 2 or even phase 3. And so the challenge is that entertainers, volunteers, our church groups cannot return until the nursing facilities and assisted livings are in their phase 3, which the way things are going could potentially be, August or September before we could reopen our buildings to have that. So the activity professional, again, is needing to be even more creative and dig even deeper, especially now as we've been 3 months in, to come up with new ideas and new suggestions. And so that's what we've been able to do, is to provide those opportunities and suggestions for programming so that they can continue to do what they're doing.
You know, with any
Sure.
great organization like yourself, Alisa, like you guys have a yearly conference, I know, and your next one is coming up in 2021 in April. Obviously, this last one was, I guess, a bit of a wash with some of everything that was going on. Tell us more about this wonderful conference that you have and the body of industry pros that will also be there in attendance.
Yeah, we're so excited that we are hopeful too that we'll be able to have an annual conference together in person. And so yes, it's scheduled for April 20th through 24th next year, and we'll be in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which I know is a little scary right now with current events happening. But we have been already working with the hotel because the hotel there just recently reopened, and so we've already been in contact with our person there, and we've already started the planning process of the hotel and what will be happening with that. And we've already started working too with the speakers that we had planned, because we had our whole conference planned. And so the speakers that were scheduled to come this last year, we're working with them to get them rescheduled for next year, as well as our vendors and other individuals that were a part of that. So we are moving forward cautiously, of course, for planning of next year, and we're really looking forward to being together. The theme for our conference is 10,000 possibilities, and I really like that theme because that was chosen a while ago, but it really fits what's happening right now and understanding, you know, we have all of these possibilities that are available, that we are still going to be able to do that. And we are looking at how we can have the conference also be virtual too, so that it can be a hybrid sense, because we understand, you know, budgets are going to be changed drastically when this is all said and done. And we know the activity budget, sadly, is the one that gets cut the most, or at the first.
That's
and
true.
So they may not have the ability or the resources to attend in person. So we want to be sure, because that's what we're all about. You know, we have a threefold mission in NAP, and that is education, advocacy, and support. And so we want to be sure that all of our professionals are getting all three of those areas, and that we're supporting them as best as we can through the education and the advocacy arena. Definitely.
Outstanding. Association Director Alisa Tagg, thank you so much for being on here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate it too. This was wonderful.
Remember, you can go to the website. It's naap.info to get more information on the National Association of Activity Professionals. If you're an activities director or residence program director of a senior community, we want to hear from you. Join the conversation on our Facebook page to share ideas and more. It's your Facebook page, and we'd love to hear from you. Just look for the logo or drop by our webpage at seniorentertainmentnetwork.com to learn more about our special music shows and more. Thanks for watching.